It's Game 6 of the 1992 NBA Finals. The Bulls trail by 15 to start the fourth quarter, so they break out a little full-court pressure to mess with Portland. Chicago unleashed the Dobermans like this from time to time. Scottie Pippen famously harassed Mark Jackson in the 1998 Eastern Finals, and they'd extend their defense and trap the ball a lot, but only for brief stretches. In Game 4 of the 2025 Finals, there were multiple defenders picking up in the backcourt on a whopping 63 plays, the most ever tracked by Second Spectrum cameras, and 44 of these came from Indiana extending its pressure with half its team in the backcourt like this. After Tyrese Halliburton made this Looney Tunes 3, the Pacers pick up full court, and OKC runs a pick and roll 80 feet away. Miles Turner is literally calling out the coverage from the other team's three-point line. Jalen Williams starts his drive in the backcourt, and he's too fast for Turner and gets all the way to the rim for free throws. And then on the next defensive possession, Andrew Nembhard denies Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, so he just screens for Williams to go get the ball. Then both OKC bigs offer a screen 85 feet from the hoop, and J-Dub again hits the gas, and all of a sudden Chet Holmgren's free in the front court, and he's tripped up for more free throws. And to stop the ball this time, Siakam actually lingers in help position at half court, and it's a nice simple read by J-Dub to go spring Chet. Whew, take a deep breath and check this out. After a make, Lou Dort picks up Halliburton immediately, powers right through a backcourt screen. Isaiah Hartenstein then pounces on him because he's the closest defender. It's a nice decision then by Hallie, and Shai is slightly slow to react. Siakam floats to the line, extending that closeout, and it's a clean look. And then Nembhard beelines over to Shai to deny him the ball. That forces J-Dub to bring it up. It's another backcourt pick and roll. OKC's spacing is off, so Siakam can help without attacks this time. And a lot of this is just to keep Shai from touching the ball. Even in the front court, Nembhard's in full denial position. SGA tries to lose him backdoor, but again, tight spacing puts Siakam right there to disrupt it, and it's a forced turnover. So for the Pacers, they want to make Shai's touches harder and force other players not just to bring it up, but even initiate offense entirely in the half court, where someone like Cason Wallace runs pick and roll and SGA never touches it. And Shai already looked fatigued in the second quarter with all this full court activity. He was happy to let Caruso initiate the offense, and Indy wants these possessions where Shai never touches the ball. It's great hustle by Turner to contest and another quick stop. So after a timeout, OKC sets up some backcourt screening to inbound it. They just have Caruso bring it up anyway to set up the play. But Nembhard is chemically bonded to SGA, just refusing to let him go get the ball. So finally, Shai says, throw it somewhere else. He manages to touch it at 11 on the shot clock, runs into traffic, and it's nifty dribbling, but he misses Holmgren on a perfect cut. It's a late double, and I'm getting tired just watching all this. Look at how much effort it takes for Shai to get the ball. He's doubled, squeezes through two defenders, and his reward is full court pressure. He needs another backcourt screen, but Ben Shepherd stays with him anyway. And there's that aggressive Indiana screen coverage we saw in Game 3. Shai makes an amazing pass. Props to Kenrich Williams for getting his arm out of there and a one-handed catch. And then it's a beautiful dime to the cutting Caruso. They even doubled away from the ball on a few inbounds. Again, Caruso becomes the point guard if J-Dub isn't out there. AC actually initiated nearly the same number of possessions as SGA in this game, and it's more offense where the MVP never touches the rock. Great Siakam defense, and they look completely stuck. Aaron Nesmith refuses to be screened, and down 7, they look dead in the water here, but Caruso says twos are really valuable, and that is a huge desperation shot. So this pressure just wears you down, both physically and mentally. There's less shot clock to work with, and you can force things when you finally get opportunities, flying in here and missing Caruso for a layup. And Shea actually drove right into this double team here, never sees Halliburton, and it's another steal. Some of these swarming, high-intensity defensive possessions actually resemble the Thunder defense. They deny SGA full court, Toppin's way out on the screen coverage, Halliburton comes out to gamble on the pass to the roller, Williams sees that, then spots Caruso, but doesn't want to try Nembhard with that lob pass, so when they reset, Halliburton can recover, Nembhard's still denying Shea like he knows his every move. That is nuts. Then it's Wallace with another old school long two. And man, this game was like being in a high school coach's fever dream or something. 94 feet of basketball on nearly every play. Only some players apparently don't get tired. They even forced the prestigious 8-second violation on this possession. Although in the fourth, there was a hint of pacer fatigue when Turner committed a sloppy foul on this inbounds. Remember, the Indiana offense sprints all over the court for the entire shot clock, so this game was like a new standard in cardiovascular conditioning. And keep in mind, the Thunder were pressuring in the backcourt too. Dort is way out on Halliburton, and then we get one of the most bonkers clutch steals ever by a flying Alex Caruso. And so Caruso and Dort were denying ball handlers full court as well, although they did try to conserve SGA's energy all game long, with only one day off between these games. In this game, Dort upgraded from full court pressure to all-out denying Halliburton in the backcourt, and that full court harassment inevitably leads to panicked moving screens to try to free Halliburton. And this was just wall-to-wall pressure and fatigue, making it harder to set up Indiana's staggered sets from Game 3. They're out on both of the possible screens here. That chokes off all of Halliburton's options, basically. Amazing work by Dort, and Tyrese finally forces a pass, and it's a huge pick six by SGA. So if you're wondering where some of that elbow offense from Game 3 went, it's Oklahoma City pushing these catches way out. That one was nearly a turnover, and you can really see the adjustment here. Halliburton calls for Turner to come up. Ihart then moves to deny his position. That pushes the catch like 15 feet off his spot. Then it's Dort doing his thing, a late switch so Halliburton can't get downhill. He unwisely picks up his dribble, and then Caruso smothers his outlet for another interception, and he had 20 massive points in this game. Even in the half court, they used every inch of the floor, taking away basic passes, pushing handoffs out to the midcourt line. Caruso's doing that crazy thing where he guards a center. Hartenstein jumps Hallie to throw him off. He ball fakes to get by his man. Caruso then sees this and cuts him off, then emergency switches out to the perimeter, and that is unreal. And the NBA has literally never looked like this. As a reminder, one of the earlier times the league leapt forward was the 1984 finals, back when Kurt Rambis's neck fouled Kevin McHale's arm, and the half-court possessions back then were all inside a 20-foot rectangle. When they weren't setting screens 75 feet away, the half-court possessions in this game started at 47 feet. Dort denies Halliburton again. Hallie might be exhausted at this point. Nembhard tries to go at Shea, but Caruso avoids the switch. Drew gets a step, but Holmgren makes a huge stand at the rim. So Dort's ball denial, and perhaps a little Indiana fatigue, was massive in the clutch possessions down the stretch, preventing any of that Halliburton activity away from the ball we saw last game, and forcing a massive turnover right after OKC took its first lead of the half. Holmgren was also enormous in this game, grabbing 15 boards in his 37 minutes. OKC was plus 14 in those minutes, and it was his mobility on defense down the stretch that smothered Indiana's offense, which was struggling to move horizontally into those multiple actions. And this one was sublime. With the screen at midcourt, he stays with Halliburton, then teleports back to Turner on an unreal closeout. Dort's in full denial, and the Pacers are discombobulated. Then Chet switches out onto Nembhard and again does a great job staying with him and contesting. The Thunder were down 4 and on the ropes halfway through this quarter, and they dusted off the SGA J-Dub pick and roll in the middle of the floor. That's a great laydown pass by Shea there, and they rarely use this setup. We saw it a little in Game 3 versus Denver and some versus Minnesota, but they send 3 guys to the baseline and set a flat screen facing the baseline, and that's really difficult for defenses to contain. Inside 4 minutes, they run this variation where SGA comes out and screens normally. That gets Nembhard switched off him, and Shea sets up in that Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant sweet spot and draws a foul. I do not personally approve of the rip-through call, but they just rode this play the entire way home, getting the switch Shea wants. Then going to that pinch post area, Nembhard comes and doubles this time. J-Dub passes on the 3 to hit SGA, and that is a rare 3-pointer in this game, and part of a 15-point explosion from Shea in the final 5 minutes, culminating with this near clone of a Kobe Bryant classic from his 61-point game against the Knicks in 2009. Only Nesmith whacked Shea on the wrist, taking away a highlight, but 92% of OKC's offense in this game came on 2-pointers or free throws. So the other old school meets new school element here among all this space with all these modern tactics was the Thunder only made 3 threes and only attempted 16 in the entire game. That's the fewest threes taken in a finals game since 2013, another series that pushed basketball forward, and it's the fewest makes in a finals game since 2011. So quite literally, we have never seen this blend of space, pressure, tactics, and shot selection in a high-level game before. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren played arguably the best games of their lives, and for once, it was the Pacers who seemed to wear down a little among this 48-minute ultra marathon, where Alex Caruso, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Oklahoma City Thunder tied this incredible series at 2 games apiece. To support this channel, patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. That's where we have proprietary stats on teams and players throughout the year. We also have a Discord community, and you can get all of our extra video content over there, or sign up on YouTube as a member, where we also live stream the podcast. Thanks for watching all the way to the end on this one. Hope you enjoyed it and that you are having a great day.